rights group is protesting a local circus in Webb City. I'm Bronte Sorolsky with why they're upset and how the circus is responding.
Graduates at MSSU walked today, but not in the traditional way. The conflict continues to escalate between Israel and Gaza.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The circus has made a return to the area, but some are protesting that return. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Chris Warner. KOAM's Bronte Sorolsky spoke with animal rights advocates who were protesting animals being used in the circus, as well as the circus's ringmaster, who says they take care of their animals.
The circus is back in Webb City, and while plenty of people were seen entering the big top, not everyone at the circus was there to watch the show.
We are trying to boycott and let people know what goes on in the circus to wild animals. We're here on their behalf, letting people know that while the circus purports to be a place of entertainment and joy for families, behind the scenes for the animals, it is a place of exploitation.
In response to these protests, the circus says they want these protesters to see for themselves how these animals are really treated.
It's a misconception. We'd like to invite them actually to come and see our facility and see how we take care of our animals before they judge what we're doing here. The animals are very well taken care of.
Wilt says he hasn't been inside of the show, but says he still believes all circuses make their animals do things that cause them distress.
Don't want to contribute my money to it, and I've looked into some of the other shows and some of the other things that the circus has done, and just what all circuses do at the end of the day is that they will, in order to make a show and entertainment, they have to train these animals to do things that they don't do naturally in the environment.
But Bauer says that doesn't happen at this circus, and that everything is approved through local agencies.
The animals meet all the government requirements, state vets. We have all of our vets that come out to see our animals. Our animals don't tour very much. A lot of our elephants are down at Two Tails Ranch, a sanctuary down in Florida, where people can come and see them in their natural environment. The horses are regular horses, and they have stables back there like everybody else does. There's no abuse or anything like that, and I don't think we would be allowed to get those permits or to be if there was any signs of abuse to our animals, the vets, the SPCA would definitely know it.
The Tarzan Zerbini Circus will run through Sunday, and so will these protests. In Webb City, Bronte Sorolsky, KOAM News.
Bauer says the Tarzan Zerbini Circus has been in their family for several generations. One man is dead following a 3-vehicle crash in Newton County on Friday. Now, the accident happened just after 4 Friday afternoon on Highway 43, 5 miles north of Seneca. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, one car had stopped to make a left turn when a car driven by 55-year-old William Brown of Wyandotte rear-ended the stopped car. Brown's car then crossed the center line and hit another vehicle. Brown was pronounced dead on the scene. The other 2 drivers were not seriously injured. Another cloudy kind of day, and I saw a little bit of sun, but Nick tells me it's not going to stay around that much longer. Nick, is that true?
Well, we're going to continue with unsettled weather for the next several days at the very least, Chris. The few peaks of sun that you referenced there, once we got the break in the rain chances this morning, it did help us out with temperatures somewhat. After a chilly start in the mid-50s, we hit the mid-60s at Joplin, cooler than our average of 77. And the airport did officially observe 0.4 of an inch of rain today, mainly from this morning. But across the radar network, we've been fairly quiet for much of the evening, but I could see little specks of reflectivity along 400, especially on the Kansas side, trying to perk up, suggesting that we are beginning to finally see some scattered showers and storms try to develop, while the big-time storms continue to stay well to the west of us. So we're not going to worry about anything too strong or severe tonight, but temperatures are going to hold steady primarily throughout the overnight. Eventually, we're going to have lows dropping back near 60 with the cloudy skies in place and some scattered storms overnight. But we'll watch for storms again tomorrow with highs pushing into the mid-70s, and we'll see how long this trend wants to continue as we break down the week ahead here in a bit, Chris.
All right, Nick, thank you. Well, Missouri Southern State University hosted its 76th commencement ceremony today. Because of the pandemic, it still wasn't a traditional graduation, but students still got to walk in a different way. The university hosted a walkthrough ceremony with special video presentations and well wishes from the faculty and staff displayed along the way.
It was great, as I have lots of friends that graduated in December and even last spring that they didn't even get the chance to have a graduation, so it's nice to have it a little personable and get to see some of my professors at an actual graduation.
A professional photographer was also on hand to record the moment as students were awarded their degrees. Law enforcement agencies say they rescued 9 human trafficking victims and 2 children during an operation at a Missouri hotel. The Missouri Attorney General's office said in a news release today that the operation Friday night at the Holiday Inn in the East Hotel, in Columbia, resulted in 2 suspects also being detained. Participating agencies included the Columbia Police Department, Boone County Sheriff's Office, the Missouri State Highway Patrol, among many others. Law enforcement authorities released few details citing the ongoing investigation. More death, destruction, and a powerful show of force in the Middle East, where the conflict in Israel and the Palestinian territories escalated today. A building in Gaza containing the offices of foreign media, including the Associated Press and Al Jazeera, was destroyed by an Israeli airstrike. Hamas responded with rocket attacks on Israel. At least 10 Israelis and 145 Palestinians, including children on both sides, have been killed since fighting began this week. CBS's Imtiaz Tiab is there.
As air raid sirens blared across Israel's largest city, our team ran to a bomb shelter in a nearby apartment block.
We're just getting into a bunker after some sirens went off over Tel Aviv. It's been a few days since we've heard it quite so close to the city.
Inside, we could hear several explosions. Less than half a mile away, the epicenter of the strike, a Hamas rocket landed in this busy intersection, killing 1 person.
Never has a Hamas rocket struck the heart of Tel Aviv quite like this, and never have we seen damage like this either.
As emergency crews investigate the aftermath, local residents looked on, including Dana Offer and her son Eli.
This is your neighborhood.
Yes, yes.
Look at these scenes. I mean,
it's crazy. Just wait to the boom, and I heard it was very close.
Hamas says the rocket attack was in retaliation for Israel's bombing last night of Gaza's Shati refugee camp. At least 10 members of a Palestinian family, 2 women and 8 children were killed in the strike, the deadliest since violence began. 6-month-old Omer Hadidi, the only survivor, was found in the rubble next to his dead mother. Just 20 minutes after Hamas's rockets fell on Tel Aviv, Israeli fighter jets leveled a 15-story building in Gaza City. The tower housed the BBC, Associated Press, and Al Jazeera. No journalists were killed after receiving an hour's warning to leave. The building's destruction is being described as an assault on press freedom. But Israel says it was home to Hamas intelligence, something the tower block's owner denies. After 6 days of fighting and over 140 Palestinians and 10 Israelis dead, it's hard to imagine there's a potentially more serious crisis unfolding in the background of all this unrest. But across Israel, in mixed Arab and Jewish cities, there's been several nights of horrific neighbor versus neighbor violence, a crisis threatening to push Israel over the edge.
an envoy for the State Department has arrived here in Tel Aviv for de-escalation talks. But the Israeli government has made it clear it's not interested in any kind of ceasefire with Hamas.
We take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Motor machinist mate 3rd class Joseph Hensley served in the Navy from 1944 to 1946 in the South Pacific, his hometown, Webb City. And we are proud to recognize motor machinist mate 3rd class Joseph Hensley, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, to learn more about other heroes or to nominate one of your own, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that is a look at our top stories and a quick check of the forecast on the KOAM News at 10. Still ahead, as America's longest war begins to wind down, Afghanistan is far from secure. Plus, a train derails in a Minnesota community.
Casino.
Well, America's longest war is winding down. The airbase in Kandahar, Afghanistan, once home to 30,000 foreign troops, is now in local control. But as CBS's Charlie Daggett reports, the future of the country is hardly secure.
Rare scenes these days in Kabul. Families enjoying a 3-day ceasefire to mark the Muslim holiday of Eid in peace. If only it were permanent. Afghan forces are being pushed back by the Taliban, which is showing little appetite to negotiate a peaceful settlement. The Taliban spokesman in Doha, Suhail Shaheen, blames the Afghan government. If the Taliban is truly interested in peace, why do you continue fighting?
Their approach is not of reconciliation. Their approach is as if our side will be surrendering. We have control over the 70% of the territory of Afghanistan.
We spoke with the chairman of the Afghan High Council for National Reconciliation, Abdullah, before the two sides met Friday in Doha.
What is it that they have done? Or participating in negotiations in good faith, or reduction in violence. None of this has happened.
Instead, the Taliban launched major offensives in key provinces. You're telling me the Taliban isn't attacking these areas?
When they are attacked, we have to counterattack because it is our right to defend our position.
He denied any Taliban responsibility for the recent school bombing that left dozens of schoolgirls dead. And yet the Taliban has been guilty of killing innocent civilians and schoolchildren.
No, this is not our policy.
As fighting intensifies, Abdullah hopes for serious talks and a serious drop in violence.
Worst case scenario, God forbid, will be a complete all-out war throughout the country.
Past ceasefires have seen the Taliban come out fighting even harder. All Afghans can do now is enjoy the peace while it lasts. Charlie Daggett, CBS News, Kabul.
A 50-car train derailed in Albert Lea, Minnesota earlier today. Now, officials with the Freeborn County say that the train derailed in the 1300 block of Eastgate Road. There was a hazardous material leak and local residents were urged to shelter in place. The leak is not airborne, according to police. Now, early Saturday evening, authorities confirmed that the substance leaking from the derailed cars was hydrochloric acid. Authorities on the scene say there were no injuries reported as a result of the derailment. That derailment occurred just after 1:30 this afternoon. Well, rain, go away. We're certainly chanting it, but will it come true? Nick Kelly's up next with his complete forecast. And a little later, a new dinosaur is discovered.
The Friday.
It was nice to see some dry time today after the morning bout of rain and thunderstorms that swept on through, but the cloud cover, overall, it was really stubborn to shake that off. So we did manage to see at least a few peaks of the sun from our time lapse of indigo sky, but your temperatures varied depending on how your skies fared throughout the course of the day. As the morning round of rain and storms swept on through, more cloud cover and lingering rain on the Missouri side meant lower to middle 60s for highs, but on the Kansas and Oklahoma side, you went into the upper 60s to lower 70s this afternoon. A nice change of pace, but even though we were sitting quiet for much of the evening, let me show you the latest look at the radar because we're now starting to see a few more specks of reflectivity popping up. A few developing showers around Pittsburgh, Greenbush, Erie, St. Paul. But the only thunderstorm I see on the board right now is in Elk County, a storm south of Howard, right along Kansas 99. This is all due to a stationary front slowly lifting to the north through the area. That's going to keep some scattered storm chances around during the overnight. At least in Joplin, though, dry still, 62, southeast breeze at 7. With the humidity sitting at 86%. Outside of the city, we're at 59 in Nevada, 65 in Parsons, 65 in Veneta. So a contrast in temperature, sure, either near 60 or in the mid 60s, but we're all going to gravitate back near 60 overnight while we continue to keep an eye on these showers and thunderstorms that are still trying to develop. There hasn't been a whole lot in terms of widespread severe weather across central and southwestern Kansas, but plenty of big-time storms extending through the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles. That activity, in terms of its severity, that's not a concern for us at all. But we'll continue to watch this stationary front, be the focal point for some scattered storms overnight. And this stubborn upper level low is going to slowly take its time working out of the west. As long as that still plays a role in our forecast, it's going to keep not only cloud cover, but rain and thunderstorm chances to start the week ahead out. Starting with the overnight hours, as that front continues to slowly lift to the north, we will see some scattered storms during the overnight. Not everybody's going to see this activity, and if anything does pop up, we're not looking at anything severe, but can't rule out some heavy rain and small hail with those storms. And then we'll see if a complex of storms can work out of central Kansas into our Kansas counties by 7 a.m. Once this clears out, a little break by lunchtime, and then we'll watch for afternoon scattered storms to develop. But with the dry time in between all the rain chances and some peaks of the sun and the south breeze, we'll try to do a bit better with temperatures. 60 in the morning, 73 by noon, highs near 76. Fast forward through Sunday evening, we'll hold on to scattered storms and up until we get the morning drive on Monday underway. And then we'll still hold on to scattered thunderstorm chances, even if they back down a little bit in coverage on Monday. In terms of expected rain, some spots could pick up within the next 2 days as little as 0.3 of an inch, but as much as maybe 2 inches, depending on how the heavy rain plays out. But this stubborn upper level low keeps thunderstorms in the forecast for Tuesday and Wednesday with a very, very low severe threat. But as this clears out, we'll keep an eye on this upper low and another storm system, especially by the upcoming weekend. That could try to set the stage for some strong, possibly severe storms, something we don't want, especially with next Saturday coming up. But it is something that we're keeping a close eye on. 76 tomorrow, mid-70s through Wednesday, Chris, and eventually we'll see highs back near 80 despite these rain chances sticking around.
Certainly an active week ahead of us, something that I know you guys will be keeping an eye on.
We certainly will.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, Missouri Southern looks to capitalize on the chance to sweep the series against UCO. Plus, Crowder and Jefferson go head-to-head for the Region 16 title. Danny Terzer has that and more next.
Pittsburg State's postseason is on the line today. The Gorillas fell to Washburn in Game 1 of the MIAA Tournament quarterfinal series. PSU needs a win today to survive and force a Game 3. In the first, Caleb Carr, back up the middle, scores Garrett McGowan and Dawson Pomeroy. 3 runs off 4 hits for the Gorillas in inning 1. Washburn battles back. Zion Bolin finds the gap in right center. 2 score, and that'll erase PSU's lead. It's a tie game. Gorillas respond though. Carr to right for a single, and Aaron Gertis comes home to put them back on top. Then Grayson Pinkett with the chopper to third, enough to drive in Pomeroy. PSU with the 5-3 lead. Pittsburg State gets the job done. They take Game 2 of the series 8-5.
Tanner Lane and Dawson Pomeroy today with Root, and Mendenhall yesterday gave us a chance. We've got to get some more out of our starting pitching, and then Garrett McGowan starting to swing the bat, and that's a good sign.
Missouri Southern in a better spot heading into Game 2. The Lions topped Central Oklahoma 5-3 on Friday. Today they have a chance to win the series and advance to the Final Four. Top of the second, Zach Freeman flies out to center, but that scores Garrett Takamatsu. Broncos lead by 1. Bottom of the inning, Henry Kuziak, solo homer. There it goes over the left side fence. Game tied at 1. Later, this one out to center. Clay Milas is there with the diving catch. Top of the 6th, Takamatsu the same way. A single to center. That brings home Philip Scott. Extends the UCO lead to 2. Southern struggles to produce offense in this one. They drop Game 2 4-1.
But I thought our competitiveness was good, and pitching was, probably good enough. Honestly, Will was great. Will was good, but their guy was great too. So I mean, be ready to go tomorrow. These are tough games, and we expect a battle. And good thing we won yesterday, so we get a chance to try again tomorrow.
More postseason baseball. Crowder is playing in the Region 16 championship game today. The Rough Riders cruised by Jefferson 10-2 on Friday to earn their spot in the title game. Crowder faces Jefferson again today, looking for a repeat outcome. Second inning, Bryce Miller gets it through. Joe Hamilton goes for home. It's close, but he's safe. The Vikings up 1-0. Next inning, Jack Stroth for the Rough Riders. Out of the park, solo homer for Stroth to tie it up. Then Peyton Holt into the second baseman for the out, but Clayton Gray scores. Still going, Gavin Glasgow up the first baseline. Logan Chambers slides home. Rough Riders up 3-1. Crowder gets by Jefferson 4-2, making them the Region 16 champions. Coffeyville football travels to Garden City for a big matchup. The Red Ravens haven't played in 3 weeks, but they won their last 3 in a row. Today, Garden City keeps Coffeyville off the board for the entirety of the game. The Broncbusters score 13 in the second quarter and one final touchdown late in the fourth to capture the 20-0 shutout win. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Well, a team of paleontologists in Mexico have identified a new species of dinosaur after finding its 72-million-year-old fossilized remains almost a decade ago. Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History reported on Thursday that a new species named, Tolacholophus gallorum was identified as a crested dinosaur after 80% of its skull was recovered, allowing experts to compare it to other dinosaurs of that type. The investigation, which also included specialists from the National Autonomous University of Mexico, began in 2013 with the discovery of an articulated tail in the north-central Mexican state of Coahuila, where other discoveries have been made. Thankfully, nothing Jurassic World style on here. It's not somebody creating a new dinosaur that will end up eating all the tourists at the park.
They should name one after Jeff Goldblum.
They need to. There needs to be a Jeff Goldblum dinosaur. It should be called the Must Go Faster.
It should.
The Must Go Fasterosaurus. Something we got to look forward to, in a way, is rain.
Well, at the very least, a positive look at the week ahead, increasing temperatures. Mid-70s through much of the week, back near 80 by Saturday, but plenty of rain chances and thunderstorm chances too throughout the week that we'll continue to stay on top of.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. That's our time for now. We're back again at 10 tomorrow night. Until then, have a great one, and thanks for making us part of your night.